All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So, I think this is a really interesting chart, and I think the one cool thing is look, there's so many ways to ask for a viewer request, all right? You can ask in YouTube comments of different videos, you can ask on Stock Twits, on Twitter, on the Discord. Someone actually emailed me on chartreaders.com, and I was not looking at this one, but I will tell you, this is a chart that I used to lose a lot of money on, all right? I never use the words buy, sell, and hold. Believe me, I will tell you what I need to happen to believe in good things, but man, there is more, girl out there, you know what I mean? There is more to not like than to like. And I'll tell you, it's really, really easy to focus on this 71% gain. No. All right, I am going to focus on these two candles. And look, there is green outline and green filled in. I hope you know the difference between the two. Otherwise, I'll tell you shortly. But I hate this candle and I hate this candle. All right, big volume. You know, I'll talk about volume, and volume fixes a lot of things like getting you away from under the moving averages, right? But yeah, I think there's too much up here to really feel uncomfortable with it, all right? But again, I will give you my opinions for what needs to happen for this thing to actually break all five and fly, which is always the goal on all my videos, right? So before we do go any further, though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our five moving averages. You know, I've never seen this chart actually, so I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm wildly grateful for it all right? So let's come into this. And look, right off the bat, I will tell you, it is extremely easy to focus on this 71% number, all right? Clearly, on Thursday, we closed all the way down here at 440. Lo and behold, we closed Friday all the way up here at 7 something. That looks like a monster, right? That is obviously over 70%, right? But I do not like either of these. In fact, I sincerely believe there were more losers on these 2 days than winners, all right? And why is that? Look, I have four candle types on here, all right? I've got green outline and I have red outline. I have red filled in, and look at that, I have green filled in, all right? So what's the difference? A green outline is a good day. All right. Not only is it green, what matters most is, and look in the box over there, it opens down here at 3 something and goes all the way up to there. Good, right? It's obviously green. It did better than the day before. And more importantly, it started down here and went up here. All right. Thursday, when you look at Thursday, you can see it was a 40. Again, when I click in this candle, you can see the percent change up there. This was a 43% gain on Thursday. Seems like a monster day. No, that's not what I see. I see us open. Look at the second line. We open up here at 7 and then fall all the way down to 4. Most people probably lost 50% that day than they actually made. They watched it go from 7 all the way down to 4, losing $3 on a stock that only has 2 sets of 350, right? That's a horrible day, all right? The exact same story on Friday. I know it says 71% gain. But what I also know is Friday opens all the way. And look in the box over there, right? The second line. It opens at $12.40 and then falls all the way down to 755. More people probably lost about 40% than they made that 71 that you see. And to me, both of these are not real. Look, there's a difference between good and like, all right, good, or maybe even bad, good, right? Believe me, if I get into an accident but I'm not hurt, hey, obviously it sucks that the car is damaged, but yeah, that's not a bad thing right there, right? I would much rather completely miss the whole thing and get a good, right? Another example I use is if you hit the lotto and you hit $1 billion and you hit like $60, hey, they're both good. They're both free money, but yeah, one would be a green outline and one would be a green filled in. You get what I'm saying, right? So I don't like these candles, okay? Clearly, these candles do a couple things, all right? The first and foremost is we went from below all five. We went from being in that all-time low black hole vortex to all of a sudden popping all the way to just under the 200, right? So these did some nice little technical moves, right? This did make the MACD go positive. This did bring the RSI, and they both have that nice divergence of green over red, right? I can't really trust either unless I see more, all right? And what's the more? This is where I'm going to zoom out. So let me draw this line. Where are we compared to this? Oh, look at that. So I drew my line on 50% of this big candle. Lo and behold, that's give or take, I think also to the penny. Am I not right? 12.50? Yeah. Look, 12.40 on the penny opens. And I promise you, I didn't practice that line before I hit record, all right? On the penny, it opens there and drops down, right? I think the next line would probably be that. I think it's the close and the hit right there. It's another two. That's actually kind of where we wicked it too. Okay, here's what I would say. I think I need it to get to at least there, right? I 955 roughly looks like half of this Friday candle, right? I would not, I really would not, I would not touch this stock under 955. All right, for two reasons. No, okay, let's also talk about after hours real quick before I talk about that. I see it going up after hours. I for sure do, right? We're now pushing 92% instead of that 70 something we saw, right? The one thing to remember is it needed to push up in after hours and pre-market for it to open here before it fell here. It did the exact same thing when it opened here, and like just because it's going up doesn't mean it's not going to open right here and fall down under, right? Like I'm here believing that we're not playing roulette. This isn't a random little plastic ball that has no memory. Stocks have memory. This thing opens up here and closes there. Believe me, it makes a lot of sense that it does the exact same thing. I actually would expect it to do it again. I wouldn't be surprised if we opened at 10 maybe under the 955. I'll get to that number again. Maybe we open just a little bit above 9, but again, I would imagine it to come down unless it tells me something's different, all right? Um, I want to talk about volume before 955. I apologize, all right? Thursday was a big volume day. Big volume day. Friday, I generally call a loser day. I'm a little surprised that the volume was as high as it was. Look, we held a little more than 66% volume, I would say, right? I'm just kind of guessing, right? But like that's about half, give or take. We're up here. You can even argue we probably held 75% and only lost 25, right? But nonetheless, though volume is obviously a downslope and is going down, that's not bad, especially given the fact that it's Friday, right? I need at the minimum 30 million shares. What was this actual number? Volume was 37. Okay, so at the bare minimum, I need 30 million shares in a 7 hour day. I need about 4.5 to 9 million shares in that first 1-2 hours. I'll be honest, I would love 42 million. I think that's divisible by 7. Isn't that 6? It is 6. So I would love anywhere from like 9 million to 12 million shares in that first 2 hours, right? Either 6 and 6, either 4.5, 4.5. Give me at least or more volume, right? That's what I'm looking for, right? That's what I'm really looking for. So volume might help dictate what happens here. Now let's talk about what happens here. So two things. I don't like the fact that we closed under the 100 moving average, all right? That said, it is wildly impressive that we closed above the open of Thursday, Okay, obviously we closed well below the close of Thursday, right? We closed down here and we closed up here. Normally, when we get this kind of day, normally we would close a little closer to here, 50% candle, right? No, 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 not even in the candle. We actually still close above Thursday. That is actually a bullish thing, just in general, right? I'm a little disappointed that we're under the 200, but there's a little bit of me wondering, hey, did we actually break some moving averages right here? That's a very very positive Friday close, and I feel like this whole video has been a little negative. That's probably the first real positive thing I said, all right? What I need is 955 to break with that, let's call it 12-ish, let's call it 10-ish million shares in those 2 hours. I think we can make a nice run from 9 something to 12 something. That's about a 33% move, and I think that's a winnable trade right there, right? Will it break 1240 and then go all the way up to, what's the next one, 16? Honestly, I'm not here to say I really know, but red, green, resistance, red, green, nothing, right? So I think that's a real nice 33% move if it hits, and then that could be another 25-ish, adding four on that 12, right? I'm gonna set an alert. I actually want to know if this thing gets into 957. I deleted some alerts from the last video, so I do have room. Look, an alert is not an immediate buy notification, but it's definitely a, hey, come check it out, and I would not mind knowing it. Otherwise, I'm going to say it one more time. This thing popped after hours and pre-market for it to open up here and close down here. It popped post-market or pre-market for it to open up here and close all the way down here. I see it going up. I wouldn't even be surprised if we open just around 925. I need to believe something is different before I can assume otherwise, all right? I'm going to just zoom out really quickly. We have never, and let's just even zoom into it right there. Let's just zoom in just a little bit to get a nicer view. Let me zoom in a little bit this way to get just a nicer view. Look at that thing. Since the 200 moving average was created back in early 2023, we've actually closed over it. I'll call it 3 good times. Those are 3 good candles right there. Every other moment, right, come on, baby. As I zoom out, we've literally never touched it since, right? So for a year and a half, we've only closed over it well 3 times. And remember, we did not close over it on Friday, right? So don't underestimate. In general, this is a very difficult line, all right? So I always say don't underestimate it, let alone when you've barely ever been over it and arguably have never even broken it once ever, right? So hey, if this thing breaks 955, I like it. Obviously, RSI is low enough in the 60s that it could still push. Obviously, that is a positive MACD. And like I said, if we can get 30 plus million shares, it'll be more than Friday. It'll be very close to Thursday. And yeah, if we can break into the 40 million shares, oh man, this might be hard to stop. Otherwise, if we lose 770, all right, I will say the death line is 720. If this falls into 720, I think it will be a very fast fall down to probably 490. All right, 955 money line, 720 death line, and both lines will dictate a pretty big up or a horrible down, all right? I don't think we need to look at the weekly at all right? There has been absolutely nothing going on the daily since these last 2 days. We need to see what happens, all right? There's obviously a quick reverse split. I think this is the last thing I'm going to say. I hate reverse splits. I don't care if it's 1 for 8, 1 for 80, 1 for 800, all right? They're all bad. I have seen silly things happen. This is a good example of silly things happening. I don't care that we went from down here to up here. That's not going to make me change my opinions on a reverse split. This is an outlier. All right. And hey, make your money on the outliers, right? You've never heard me use the words buy, sell, hold, right? I got my money line up, my death line down. Sorry, my death line down. You attack accordingly or avoid accordingly or whatever you do, right? But I'll tell you, I started the video with it. I'm going to say it again. Charts like this back in the day made me lose more money than I would make. I would see a monster 70% and it'd be hard to ignore. You know what I mean? I would probably have been one of those ones that bought up at 7 and watched it go down. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it went up and we're still over that 7, right? But man, yeah, I used to get my hand stuck in the cookie jar. I generally would avoid something like this. If that 955 breaks, it might be a little hard to ignore though. All right. Look, please let me know if you disagree. Again, I appreciate you all so, so much.